Welcome back. In this segment, we're going to study a particular kind of recurrence relations called divide and conquer recurrence relations. So far in this lecture, we have discussed divide and conquer algorithms. Now, these algorithms are by definition recursive algorithms, and because of that, it makes it pretty hard to study their time complexity. So the goal of this segment and remaining segments in this lecture is to describe a particular class of recurrence relations that will allow us to study the time complexity of divide and conquer algorithms. So as usual, we're going to use a function to describe the time complexity or the runtime of an algorithm. We're going to call that function f. It's a function of n, which is the size of the input to the algorithm. And the key point here is that the algorithm is a recursive algorithm. So f of n is the runtime of a recursive algorithm, and we need to determine what f of n is. Well, f of n is not going to be defined right away by a closed form formula, but by a recurrence relation. Now, let's think about why that is easier to do. Well, remember that our divide and conquer algorithm is solving the problem by calling itself on smaller subproblems or problems of smaller sizes. So we're trying to compute or determine what f of n is, and f of n is going to be defined in terms of how long it takes to solve the same problem for smaller values of n. So you can see that f of n is going to be defined in terms of f of n prime, where n prime is a problem size that is smaller than n. So f of n is a function, but of course we can think of it as a sequence, right? A sub n or f of n is basically the same concept. And when we define the value of a sequence or a function in terms of values of smaller values of n, meaning previous terms in the sequence, if you look at this as a sequence, then what we get is a recurrence relation. So that's the reason why these divide and conquer recurrence relations are important, because they are the easiest way we know of to study the time complexity of a divide and conquer algorithm. So now that you're clear about the motivation for studying this topic, let's dive into the technical details of how to define these recurrence relations. Now, we call that a divide and conquer algorithm makes a certain number of recursive calls. Let's call this number a. A is an integer that's greater than or equal to 1, since you must make at least one recursive call to be a divide and conquer algorithm. But you could make 2 or more, as we saw in some previous examples. Now, we're going to make a further assumption here, which is that the size of the input for all of these recursive calls is the same for all of the recursive calls. Not only that, but that size is a fraction of the original size, so it's n over b. So again, there are two assumptions here. First of all is that all of the recursive calls must be made on problem instances of the same size. And notice that was true of all the previous algorithms. That size was basically half of the original size. And the second observation is that not only are the subproblems smaller, but their size is defined as a fraction of the original size. They're not defined in terms of n minus 1 or n minus 2, which would be fine, but in a divide and conquer paradigm, the assumption is that the size of the smaller problems is a fraction n over b. And in particular, notice b is an integer that must be greater than 1. It can't be equal to 1, because if b is equal to 1, then the size of the subproblem would have exactly the same, would be the same as the size of the original problem, and you wouldn't be making progress towards the solution. So, just remember, a is the number of recursive calls, and n over b is the size of the inputs to these recursive calls. So what we want to compute now is the amount of time it takes for this divide and conquer algorithm to solve a problem of size n. So f of n, in other words, is equal to what? Well, it's the sum of all the runtimes of the 3 steps in the divide and conquer strategy. So the first step is the divide step. How long does the divide step take on an input of size n? Well, that's going to depend on the particular algorithm. So we're going to call that function d of n. It's the time it takes in the divide step for an input of size n. Okay, so now we need to add the runtime of the conquer step. So what does the conquer step do? Well, it makes a recursive calls. So let's look at the first recursive call. How long does it take to execute the first recursive call? Well, that call is a call to the same algorithm. So its runtime is going to be defined by f again, since f, remember, by definition is the runtime of our algorithm. But when you make a recursive call, of course, the input size is not n, but it's n over b. So in other words, the runtime of the first recursive call is going to be whatever f of n over b returns. That's just the definition of the runtime function f. But of course, there's going to be a second recursive call, at least if a is greater than 1. And the runtime of that recursive call is also going to be f of n over b, because the assumption is that all of the subproblems have the same size, n over b. And so on and so forth for all of the recursive calls. Remember, there's supposed to be a of them, so there are a sum n's in this sum. Now, let's not forget to add in the runtime for the third step of the divide and conquer strategy, which is the combine step. So how long does it take to combine the solutions of a subproblems to get a solution to the original problem of size n? Well, we don't know. It's just a function of n. Let's call that c of n. C is for combine. So in conclusion, now we can simplify this expression. First of all, we can just count how many terms we have here. We have a terms. These terms are equal, so these are equal to a times f of n over b. And finally, we're going to combine these two terms, d of n plus c of n, and we're just going to call that g of n. So in conclusion, the runtime of a divide and conquer algorithm for an input of size n is equal to a times the runtime of the same algorithm on an input size of n over b plus the time g of n that it takes to divide and combine the solutions to the smaller problems. So f of n here is defined recursively. And remember that since for us f of n is the runtime of an algorithm whose input has size n is basically going to be an integer, and therefore you can look at f of n as a special kind of function that we call the sequence. So you can think of it as f sub n if you wish. And the key is that f sub n is defined in terms of smaller elements or smaller terms in the sequence, since n over b is smaller than n. So this is clearly a recurrence relation. So we're going to give a name to these types of recurrence relations. We're going to call them divide and conquer recurrence relations, if and only if they have this form, where a is an integer that's greater than or equal to 1, and b is an integer that is strictly greater than 1. Now, the reason these recurrence relations are important is because once you solve them, what you get is, well, the runtime of the divide and conquer algorithm that we were modeling with that recurrence relation. And in particular, if you ended up with this recurrence relation, is because you were modeling the runtime of a divide and conquer algorithm that divides its original problem into a subproblems, each of which has size n over b. And if you ended up with this recurrence relation, is because the runtime of the part of the algorithm that does the divide step and the combine step together had a runtime of g of n. So, to summarize, you start with a divide and conquer algorithm, Once you have this algorithm, you can determine the specific value of A and B and G of n for that algorithm. Then you can solve this recurrence relation as we're going to describe in a later segment. And that solution is going to be the runtime of the divide and conquer algorithm. Now, of course, you remember that any recurrence relation has an infinite number of solutions. So which one is the solution that we're looking for, namely the runtime of the algorithm? Well, we can't solve this recurrence relation in a unique way until we have a set of initial conditions. And what are the initial conditions here? Well, it's the value of f of n for one small value of n. Now remember, every divide and conquer algorithm must have a base case. So if the base case happens where n is equal to 0, then we need to know f of 0. And this will be the initial condition that we need to add to this recurrence relation to get a single unique solution. If the base case of the divide and conquer algorithm has size n equals to 1, then we need to determine what f of 1 is to get the single solution to this recurrence relation.